if you do self-care, but you don't feel at peace, well rested, you don't feel refreshed after doing that self-care, you likely need to toss out some things. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. But first, I'm going to introduce myself. Hello. My name is Kahdija Imari. I'm a self-care lifestyle strategist, and I'm the founder of COCO Love. I essentially mentor ambitious women who are ready to prioritize their peace and do more self-care. All right, let's hop into today's topic. If you're wondering what I'm looking down at, it's going to be my notes on my notepad, on my iPad. What? That was... Okay, I use my iPad as a notepad. Whatever. Okay, so things you need to toss out, because this video is all about old versus new self-care, what we need to be getting rid of that's a part of our old way of doing self-care, and what we're going to bring in this spring as we do more self-care. So something we want to toss out is mundane self-care activities. What do I mean by that? So you're doing self-care, but you are not feeling a sense of calm, a sense of excitement. Like do you even enjoy the thing that you're doing for self-care? Or are you doing this thing for self-care because you feel like you're supposed to be doing it for self-care? Or maybe somebody told you, or maybe you saw a commercial on TV that looked like it should feel relaxing, but you're trying to do it, and then you find out that like it's not really relaxing to you. Like that could be a part of it. Mundane, like it's just not cutting the mark for you. It's boring, it's tired, it's old, it's just not hitting it. Give it up. Like it's okay for you to try something new in your self-care routine. It's okay for you to pull the plug on something that used to work, but now it just doesn't fit your current lifestyle or who you are right now or what you enjoy, the types of things that you enjoy. Those things can change, and it's okay for your self-care to change also. So something I want to something I want you to keep in mind with the mundane self-care activities, if that's what you struggle with, is I want you to expand what you define as self-care. Here's what I mean by that. You might be pigeonholing yourself into things, like I mentioned earlier, you might be pigeonholing yourself into things that you think should qualify as self-care. A lot of times that will be anything centered around like spa related activities. So getting a massage, getting a manicure, getting a pedicure, getting your hair done, getting extensions on your nails, things like that, getting your eyelashes done, getting your makeup done. Those things are typically considered to be self-pampering or pampering in general, and they also tend to lean towards women only. And it's just, none of it is true. Like a woman can go to the spa and absolutely hate getting her nails done. Like she could hate having somebody touch on her feet. Like it's a thing, and it's also not limited to women. Now, I know that on my channel and in my business, I cater to ambitious women, but I want to make it known here that self-care is not just for women. Self-care is absolutely for men, and men can go and get pedicures and manicures and massages, and they can go to the spa and do all the things, right? So the commercials that we've seen and the messages that we've seen in social media and mainstream media, that stuff isn't necessarily true. The stuff that we may have been watching for years and years and years, like it might just not be one commercial that we've seen. It might be a series of commercials that we've seen, or a series of movies and TV shows and concepts and things like that we have constantly sort of gorged on throughout 10, 20, 15, 30, 45 years of our life or more. And we believe subconsciously that this is what self-care is. That I am a woman, I'm supposed to go and do this. It's just not the case. So I want you to release yourself from that and expand what you define as self-care. That might mean that you would have to go and explore different things. And let me tell you, my personal belief is a whole boatload of things can be self-care. Going mountain climbing could be self-care. Now, is it self-care for me? Absolutely not. However, I am sure that for somebody in this world, going mountain climbing is a part of their self-care routine. It brings them a sense of peace. It gives them a sense of relaxation. It allows them to just woosah, exhale, breathe. When they mountain climb, their shoulders get lighter and they don't feel like there's all these burdens on them. Maybe because they're outside. Maybe it's because they get to see the beautiful view. Maybe it's because they're walking through nature and they just love walking through nature. Like, I don't know. It's just not my deal. All right. So figure out what types of things might be self-care for you in this new season of your life, and try to figure out maybe some of the reasons why the other things that you've been doing have been feeling very mundane. All right, let's move on. Rushed self-care time. Whew, this is an interesting one because sometimes people want to just get it done. Like, I'm going to go do some self-care, like checking it off their to-do list. And it's like, yes, kudos to you. You did something that was self-care related for you. However, did you actually conduct yourself in a manner that was allowing you to take better care of yourself in that moment? Probably not, especially if you were like rushing through it. You weren't being very mindful, right? I'm using air quotes because I know it can be a buzzword. But were you present in the moment? Were you considerate of your own feelings? Did you even want to do that thing, or did you just do it because it was on your list of like things you wanted to do that day, right? Like, it's not necessarily it is self-care. It's the impact that it's having on you. That's what I'm getting at. What type of impact is you embarking upon this particular self-care activity having on you in the moment that you're doing that thing? Like, that is what's going to let you know whether this is being therapeutic for you, whether this is being you taking better care of you. Like I said, are you being considerate of your feelings, or are you just disregarding how you feel that day and you're going to do everything that's on your to-do list no matter what? Work included, self-care included, taking care of the kids included, like everything included, and your self-care is wrapped up in that bundle too. That can just feel like gross and rushed and like, ugh, right? So that's not what self-care is about, in my opinion. Again, this is all my opinion. I believe self-care should feel comforting. It should feel, put you at ease. It should help you feel at peace. Like I said earlier, your shoulders don't feel tense. They just relax, right? You are sinking into that moment. You are able to breathe easily. There is just a sense of peace that kind of washes over you, right? That is what self-care feels like. And if you are, let's say, something I know I like to do is journal. I like to journal for self-care. Well, if I'm over here like angry journaling because somebody frustrated me, like, on one hand, yes, I'm taking care of myself because I'm being considerate of my feelings, and I'm making sure that I'm giving myself an outlet to voice my concerns in that moment. Yes, that can be very healing. It can be very therapeutic. Like I said, it can be an outlet. However, is it bringing a sense of peace in my life in that moment? I would say maybe not. Not until the turning point of my journaling goes from anger into, whew, that was really nice to get that off my chest. I'm so glad that I just journaled about all these things. Like, I can't even believe that they did that. That was so annoying. Anyway, other things that I did today was blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. That is the therapeutic, like, self-care moment, in my opinion. If you're a journaler, journaler. Okay, y'all say that word 5 times. Okay. If you're a journaler, let me know. Like, have you ever been through something like that? Like, where you are just kind of like ventilating in a journal about like whatever happened between you and somebody else. And then all of a sudden you get to this moment of, okay, well, that was a good chat. Like, I'm glad I talked about that with you, Mr. Journal or Mrs. Journal, right? And then maybe you keep going and you talk about other stuff, right? So yeah, that's my opinion. Okay, so with the feeling like you need to rush through your journaling, that's my self-care thing. That might not be your self-care thing. I'm so sorry. With you feeling like you need to rush through your self-care time and just get it done, I want you to think about being a little bit more gentle with yourself. Being gentle with your approach to self-care, because that's really kind of what it's about, the attitude behind the self-care that's happening in that moment. So think about how you may be nurturing to a baby. You tend to approach the baby from a standpoint of, hello there, are you okay? I'm gonna pick you up. Right? Like, there's this graciousness that surrounds the aura of the baby, and whenever you come into the baby's space, you are also being quite gentle with the baby before you do a thing, right? And so think about your self-care in that way. When you are knowing that you would like to do self-care, right? Because you're going to be fighting against your natural instinct to rush into the self-care time. But if you can just you know that you're about to do self-care. That's not the argument. Go into the self-care. That's perfect, fine, and dandy. But once you're in that moment and you are about to start executing the thing, like you have the things in front of you, like I mentioned the example earlier about journaling, how can I reposition my mind to approach me journaling differently, to approach me journaling in a slightly more gentle way? Now, again, like I mentioned in the case with journaling, if I'm actually upset, then no, I'm not going to be approaching this situation in a gentle manner. Like, I'm upset. Like, I'm coming here for a purpose. I want to vent, right? Like, nothing gentle is going to be about that. But in an average situation, you're not upset. You just want to go and do self-care, but you just tend to like rush into doing it, and you kind of want to just get it done. Slow yourself down. Think to yourself, am I being gentle with myself right now? Like, am I approaching myself how I would approach a baby? Hopefully that will help you start to slow down and stop rushing. Okay, third point, inconsistent self-care time. This is a tough one because a lot of times when I'm working with my clients who are inconsistent with self-care, it's a matter of where's their mindset, right? What is going on in their life? Where is their mind such that it's being pulled constantly, right? That's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is what do they think about self-care? Do they think it should only be big, extravagant, these like massive endeavors, cost a lot of money? Just everything about self-care should be like big or go home type vibe, right? Like, and what I want you to know is, number one, none of that is the truth. Self-care can be dirt cheap. It can be free or nearly free. You can do self-care in a matter of seconds. It doesn't have to take an hour, 2 hours a day. Self-care does not have to take a massive amount of time, a massive amount of investment, a massive amount of energy, a massive amount of anything. It can literally be the smallest of investments, the smallest little window of time that you have, the smallest little celebration of a moment that you have. Self-care is what you make it be. Self-care, as I mentioned in the previous point, is about your mindset and how you're approaching it in the moment. Are you being gentle with yourself? Are you considering how you feel? Are you considering your feelings in that moment? It doesn't have to be huge all the time. And what I find is that when I help my clients who are being inconsistent with self-care, when I challenge them to think about or examine their life from a vantage point of how often do you celebrate your small wins? And the preface to that question on celebrating small wins is, how often do you think that you have accomplished small things that are worthy of being celebrated? Or do you just skip through all the things that you accomplish in a day, in a month, in a year, and you're kind of like on a hamster wheel. Like, you just keep going. You have this long list of to-dos that you feel like, I gotta get this done. I gotta get that done. I can't stop. I gotta keep going. I'm the Energizer Bunny. I gotta go. Like, you're gonna burn out. You are going to feel tired. All of that go. It's going to catch up to you. And you've got to try to hack your own mind and find a way to insert little bits of pause, little bits of joy, little bits of rest, right? And rest doesn't always mean taking a nap. Yes, sometimes it can. No, always it does not have to, right? And so, that is what I challenge you to think about. And in fact, I wrote it in my notes here. Celebrate super small wins in a thoughtful way. So that would be my advice to people who, those of you who are words coming to me now. That would be my advice to you. Those of you who are struggling with being inconsistent in your self-care time, is to celebrate super small wins in a thoughtful way. I hope all of these tips that I've shared today make a lot of sense. If they do not, feel free to leave a comment down below, send me a voice memo or a quick DM message over on Instagram, and I will be more than willing to answer your question over there, because I love sending me a voice memo, honey, okay? But anyway, until next time, I will catch you in the next video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, bye.